I think as a young person, I was blown away by that. I was like, this cannot be the way that this works, but
Exactly.
sure as hell it is. And
Well, Mark,
that was
that's a great point, and that's why the technology needs to catch up with the employment that's coming into the industry, because a young person is not going to come in and tolerate the inefficiencies that have been in this industry for a long time.
all right. With me today is Jim Hackbarth, CEO of AssureX Global. Jim is also one of the members of our advisory board and a good friend. And Jim, really excited to have you here today.
Thanks, Mark. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'm glad it all worked out with the schedules and everything. Before we jump into the meat of the content, I think it would be great if you could share some background on who AssureX Global is and what AssureX Global does for the industry here.
We're a network that's comprised of 108 large independent brokers. On a worldwide basis, there's 108 firms. About 54 of them are in the United States. The other are spread across Europe, Latin America, and Asia Pac. By being part of AssureX, they are actually a shareholder in us. They own the company. We provide to them a variety of services. It could be working with them in carriers. It could be developing education as they hire and produce. They hire additional staff and producers. It could be identifying and adopting technology platforms that help make them more competitive. Or it could be taking on special initiatives. We leverage our size to provide them additional products and services. Typically, it's one broker in every major geographical area.
You have a pretty unique view on the world, or a unique vantage point, from the types of brokers you interact with, both in the United States and abroad. What's on the top of everyone's mind that you're talking to? And then I'd like to get a sense for how technology starts to play into that a bit.
Let me address that by talking pre-virus, because the virus thing is just kind of a bump in the road. But what's on a lot of our firms' mind is, especially now, attracting and hiring and training young talent. It's kind of a joke in the industry. No one on purpose goes into the insurance industry that are in it today. They just happen to end up there, and they've stayed there for 30 years. And there is and I'm talking both from a carrier perspective and a distribution. Making people understand from a career standpoint, it is a great place to work. And from the distribution side of it, what does that really mean? And what does a broker really do? You get that young talent in, you've got to train them. There's very few schools that actually train. You can get a degree in insurance, but to really understand, especially from the distribution side, what does that really mean? Two is the adoption of technology that's going to help them become more competitive and to be more responsive to their client needs. One, for example, is the powerful use of data in a way that can identify where there's gaps in coverage, identify where there are unique risks that perhaps are not been identified out there yet that need coverage. And we take the virus, and probably the hot topic right now is business interruption insurance and how that's going to impact certain industries and where does the liability start and stop. So that's example of new coverages. 8 years ago, no one really knew what cyber risk was. Now everybody knows what cyber rist is. Right. So even if you're a restaurant, you should have a cyber policy, or a hair salon, or a store that sells tires. If you're taking credit cards, you're exposed to cyber risk. And then to be more proactive, and I don't care what size business is, to identify those risks, insure those risks, and to make sure that you're finding the right market that has the appetite for that risk. I'm really excited in one area of our business, which I know Bullpen will probably be getting into at some point as you continue to grow, is the effective use of artificial intelligence. I think the effective use of artificial intelligence to analyze gaps in coverage, to identify what's in the data so that agents and brokers can make the right recommendation to their clients. And I think that's a big opportunity for everyone in the insurtech space. Ironically, when it comes to operations and adopting new technology, in my view, the insurance industry are like the kids of the shoe repairmen. They're the last kids to get their shoes fixed. And so my point of it is, a lot of the insurance industry for many years has been risk averse to adopting new technology.
Do you think, I think we both know the answer to this, the current events of today, I only can see that to accelerate that process, because right now you can't go out and meet face to face with customers. You can't have these types of interactions, and how else do you grow? Do you see that as an accelerant right now for those commercial carriers or commercial players or brokers that were kind of on the fence of adopting technology to move forward? Yep. Or do you think people are going to continue wait and see?
No, I think that's a great question, Mark, and I'm glad you guys had the insights on that, because I think you're going to see this is going to accelerate things quickly at both ends of the spectrums, at the markets, which is the carriers, and at the agency side of the business, the brokerage side of the business. And it will expedite the adoption of some of the technologies, plus the demand from the buyer of the insurance. They're going to have so much less time to focus in on how to manage their risk or how to insure their risk. They're going to be more focused on getting back to basics and growing their business. And the efficiencies that this is going to force into the industry. There'll be a lot of vertical market focus. There'll be a lot of coverage focus in certain vertical markets. Business interruption in the restaurant business will go through the roof. It has to. Yeah. Who would have thought in the hospitality industry? Who would have thought the impact of this in the short period of time that it has? And so what will happen, I think there's going to be a lot of good to come out of this. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. When's it going to stop? When's it going to end? This will stop. It will change things. I think the positive change will outweigh the negative shortfalls that we've had here. I'm talking about positive change with how we transact business. I think the effective use of technology, tools like Zoom or Microsoft Teams. These tools have been around for a while, but gosh, I never would have thought 90 days ago that, you'd be having, 6 or 7 Zoom meetings a day or team meetings, but they're very effective. And you get to the point of what the objective of the meeting is.
Yeah.
Decisions get made, things move on, and the meetings tend to be very pointed at what you need to get accomplished. Obviously, it's good to have fun too. I know at AssureX, like most companies, we have a weekly happy hour now at 4:00 every Thursday at 4:00. It'll be a theme, and it could be like last week's theme was about dress up as if you were in the show Tiger King. The theme the week before that, it was about the importance of paying forward. During that meeting, I was fortunate enough to have Urban Meyer join us on the Zoom meeting. And Urban shared his personal views of what it means to pay forward and to work as a team and to always look out and take care of others. There's a feeling of freedom and free flowing that sometimes when you're in an office environment, you might lose that. But I think work from home has really created a lot of positives. I really do.
I think so too. And having those types of interactions with your coworkers, over Zoom, what have you, it does help you, relax a bit and because you're going from one meeting to the next and you're getting to see another side of your coworkers that you haven't seen before. Where do they live? What's their life like outside of the office? Well, Jim, thank you so much. Really enjoyed the conversation today.
All right, Mark. It was a pleasure. Call me if I can be of any further help, okay?
I will. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.